While serving in the Army, I knew exactly who I was. Every morning, I woke up with a mission and a plan. People depended on me. Soldiers expected me to lead. The Army expected me to solve problems. I wore a uniform that told the world exactly who I was. Then, one day, it was over. The Army tried to prepare me through SFL TAP, but honestly, I didn't really take it seriously. You know, there were people that told me congratulations. There were people that told me, hey, you earned it. But nobody talked about the silence. I never stopped to think about what it would feel like to wake up without a mission. I never considered that walking back into the civilian world could actually hurt me. Then one day, I found myself stranded on a path I never walked before, with no signs, with no rank, with no map, and no logical direction for me. I wasn't afraid of finding another job. I had a plan for that. I was afraid of not recognizing the man I'd become without the uniform. Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. I'm Tommie.
And I'm Lance. What happens when something that defined you for decades suddenly becomes part of your past? Today's conversation is why becoming a civilian was harder than serving. Let's get into it.
When did you first realize retirement was or wasn't going to feel the way you imagined it would?
Probably like a month after I was retired. Because that first month, man, I was still getting up at, waking up at 5, ready to go, go to work and feeling like I was missing, waking up and feeling I was late or feeling like I was missing something. And then after that month, then it was like, okay, I can go do whatever. I don't have to be rolling at 100 miles a minute. I don't have to be looking at my phone just to, to see if somebody texts me about, something. It was just, I guess I finally learned to slow down. And that's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I wanted to slow down and not be worried or stressed about, somebody else. It was like I was looking at myself and what I could start doing to help better myself. It sounds funny, but help better myself.
No, I get it. Especially in a new environment, new world.
Yeah. So
no, I get it. So let me ask you, did you have a dream of retirement? Or did you have like an image? Not dream, like, but like an image?
I mean, not anything where it was like, no, I can't say that I was, looked at it and was like, I'm going to be laid out back on the back porch. I'm going to be doing, it wasn't anything like that. It was more of a, okay, I'm not, it was more of a not having an image and not knowing what to do. And that's probably that first month too. It was like, I didn't know what to do at first. Cause it was like, I felt like if I wasn't doing anything, then I wasn't worthy. Right. I wasn't helpful to anybody. I felt like I wasn't going to be helpful to. I wasn't helpful to anybody if I wasn't doing something. And it was like, And I said it took me about a month or so just to like, okay, that's crazy. Because I was picking up. I was washing clothes.
Doing everything.
I was cooking. I was doing things, but it wasn't what I was used to doing. And then doing this on top of, and I was able to get things done. Like I was able to cut the grass at 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and be done with it, and not having to wait till I got home from work, and then doing it at, getting home from work at 4:30, then doing, cut the grass at 5.
The hottest part of the day.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, I got a little more energy. I'm feeling, so it was like, okay, I can go and do things for folks. If they needed me to run and go pick something up from the dry cleaner, whatever, I was available, and it was like being available in a different way. Yeah. Because, when we're at work, when I was working, and same probably you, we were always available.
Everybody.
And it was like for whatever, anytime, whatever I was doing. If I wasn't at work, I was available. If I was at work, I was available. So it was like, okay, this is the new me being available, and I think I like it a little better. Right. The pay's not as good, but it's still I think I like it better. I feel better, I got you. How about you?
So, like the question I asked you, I'd never had like a dream, fantasy idea of what retirement. I was that guy that didn't even really think about retirement until retirement was really hitting me in the face, you know. At 27, no, I wasn't thinking about it. 28 years, no, it didn't really dawn on me. 29 years, that's when you get that email. And that's where, you know, and not to say I never had a plan, you know, I don't want people to think that I didn't have an idea or a plan of what I wanted to do, but the plan that I had was, it did not end up being what I ended up doing. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I had options.
yeah,
You know?
there you go. That's a better word for it. And so when I finally got out of the uniform, that next day, Nikki and I got in the car and headed south, right? We were in Virginia. We stopped off at her pop's house, stayed there a couple days, and then headed down to Texas. So during those first few weeks, you know, hopping and popping, felt like I was on leave, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after you get past, after I got past that 30-day mark, 30-day-ish mark, where you know you ain't going to be on leave for this long, then you start, then I started to start itching. You know, that's when I started, because during that whole time, you're still getting phone calls from when you just finished work, and you're still getting phone calls from your battle buddies or whatever that you could help out, you know, because you're used to talking. And so I was still sort of in the
Feeling like you were
job.
there.
Yeah, still sort of in the job, but not there. And then I'll say after about 60 days, I was still on permissive TDY, but, you know, then you start to, that muscle memory starts to kick in, and you are looking at your phone like, why am I looking at my phone? And then you are waking up early, like, why am I up this early? And then, so to fix that, I jumped into the gym, you know, started going to the gym, and that took up a good hour and a half in the morning. And then it would take a lot of energy out of me, right? And so I was feeling better. The plan was, I also should put this out there, was I was going to not go back into the workforce for a year.
Okay.
That was the plan that Nikki and I had, because she was concerned that me getting out of the military would cause issues. And she wanted to try to do what she could to get the stress off of me.
Right.
Right. And which was a great plan on paper. But I was in the gym. I was killing it. I was getting in the best shape of my life for real, man. And then my back went out.
Ooh.
Yeah. And when my back went out, that sort of seemed like the start of different things going on with my body, you know, and it was just like, what is happening?
You start noticing more stuff.
Yeah, you know, and so like I've been hurt on duty, but most of the time I could still at least suck it up and get to the office, you know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe I don't do PT this morning, but I could still go and sit in meetings. But when my back went out, and it wasn't like I was throwing up a bunch of weight, it was, I think I was brushing my teeth or something. And it laid me down, man, for 2 days. And while I was down, that's what started the things creeping in my head, feeling like, you know, what are you gonna do? What value are you bringing to the house now?
That's always it, bro.
Yeah, man. And so I started to. That's when I started to.
How are you contributing?
Yeah, and I started to hover on, am I relevant anymore? You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody calling you Sergeant Major, you know, when you walk out the house. It's like, hey, you know, and when you go to VA, it's even worse. You know, you get to see your brothers and sisters that are aging, that are down, you know, by themselves, sitting in corners, slowly walking around, you know, so then that put in my head, like, is this where I'm going to be in 20 years, whatever?
Right.
So now I got that on my mind, you know, and then you come back home and Nikki's, she's a travel agency owner, travel advisor, and she's goes into the office, you know, at home, but she goes to the office and she's got things to do. She's got a plan. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, I cut the grass. You know,
What's next?
Yeah, that you run out of things to do when the house is no longer needs your great ideas to live in it. You know, so it took me not a while to realize that it wasn't going to turn out like I thought it was, because, like we said, we didn't have those dreams or whatever. But it took me a while to truly understand I wasn't in the military no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, it took me a while to find out what I was going to do,
Right.
because the plan I had, I didn't want to do anymore.
Tell you, man, and I tell you too that I also felt like I was doing something wrong because
Yeah,
I never saw anybody like retire
and then
like
see
I
them
did.
every day.
Yeah, I never saw anybody because
Yeah.
my father, he basically retired from one
And went
position,
to
went went back to work doing
Right
something,
back,
and
yeah.
he worked for another 15 years or so after he. And I was like,
So
should I
yeah,
be doing something?
that's
Am I
another great
supposed to be?
point. Didn't get to see somebody going through a real time, because my dad did the same thing, but he did slow down though. But he went from steel worker to now he was helping at the golf course. He was the guy driving around the golf course helping out and stuff.
My mom worked till her 65, 66, 67. I mean, she was
Yeah, still going.
and she
Yeah.
was up there moving. So I was like, I'm like, dang, should I be doing something?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but okay. So looking back, do you think you were grieving when your military career came to an end?
And when I hear grieving, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I hear grieving, I'm like, that word's a little too strong, right?
You wasn't sobbing?
Not in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning, it's like freedom, you know what I'm saying? You see the finish line, and you're like, I got to get to it. And then when I had my retirement ceremony and final out everywhere and cleared the house we were in, and then you move out and you just like lighter, But like we talked about before, when you start to when you realize you're not on leave anymore,
Right.
and then that muscle memory makes you feel like you still got to do stuff for the Army. That is not grieving. That is maybe missing it, right? But months later, when I've made the decision not to take the plan I had. I'm only 6 months out of the military now, and I'm debating on whether or not I should get back in the grind. I'm looking at how or if and how I can help Nikki with our travel business. Am I a travel advisor? Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. It sort of does turn to grieving when I start thinking about looking back and like, man, I was a sergeant major in the United States Army, man. I'd walk into meetings, people standing up. You know what I mean? I'm like, when I go to talk, people just be quiet. I started to really, 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 if you don't want to say the word grieving, really miss the role I had attained, right? And it's not because I had the chip on my shoulder that I need to be recognized. It's
you earned that.
You are, and you know what I'm saying? That is what you did.
And you knew the field that you were in, you knew that field.
Absolutely.
So
up and down.
you felt that you not even felt, you knew that you were
qualified and where I was supposed to be.
And you were doing
subject matter
good.
expert.
I mean, you were passing
Absolutely.
on valuable information to folks.
So eventually it came very close to grief. Yeah, it came close because I started to spiral, man. And unknowingly, even being a resilience certified instructor and have gone to mental health, I couldn't stop myself from spiraling, man, because I was too busy remembering who I was instead of somehow closing that chapter and moving on. Yeah. And so that was mine. What about you?
I don't think I learned to, was seeing to appreciate what I had done.
Right.
Because, a lot of times, especially when I'd say for me, especially when I was younger in career, just complaining about stuff, not really truly understanding stuff. And then being in the time that we were in and getting out, I was like, man, I know what I know my job, I know what I'm doing, I understand. You start understanding all the different parts and other people's jobs, which makes your job easier.
Absolutely.
And it was one of those things where it's like, man, I seeing how, my kids, work in the civilian sector and hearing about, some of the stories of their bosses and, supervisors and things where it's like, man, because you think it's like, man, I wish I was there. I could tell. So you try to, but it was like I could explain to them, it's like, this is why this is going on. This is why you should be, look at this, try to go about it this way. Try to, so that they could see things in a different way to help them understand it better.
Right.
And know to say that too will pass, but it was, I don't think it was ever grieving, but I did. I mean, I did miss it. And a lot of it was just missing the people, and just missing the excitement of just the different stuff that would come. I mean, because we get to do a lot of things and get to see a lot of things when in the military.
That you can't make anybody understand.
I mean, that you don't and learn. And so I missed that piece to the point of grieving. No, because I could pick up one of my professional journals and I can read about it if I really want to know. I could call some, and still having contact with folks just to hear about what's going on is just would help with that, where it was like, okay, I'm glad I'm not there, dealing with that stuff, because some of the stuff is you deal with some silly stuff too. Deal with some big time silly stuff too.
That you don't want to be a part of.
Right. Yeah.
But I will go back and add this too, that my grieving was, and I know I always get pushed back from people when I tell people this, especially you, but I had aspirations. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to become a brigade command sergeant major. In my mind, when I got selected for sergeant major, that was where I was going to end up. You know what I'm saying? And so
that was the ultimate goal.
Absolutely. And so that was part of the path I was on. And that's the first time that my dreams or wants to be in the military didn't come true. You know what I'm saying? So there was more to it. I'm not saying that I thought I was a failure, but I definitely thought I fell short of where I should have been. And so I do have that to add, but.
No, I understand, because it's jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just jobs that you would like to have. Absolutely. That are.
Yeah. That you think are
defined, that divine, like that says that
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was the cream of the crop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What parts of military life did you never realize had become part of your identity until they were gone? You already said it, waking up.
Yeah, I mean, just that, not, or I mean, just I guess the
structure,
the routine, the routine. I mean, the structured routine, just the everyday life stuff that you just incorporate into your 24, that you're doing 24/7, regardless if you're on base, or if you at your at your house in the neighborhood, in the city or whatever. I mean, it's just certain things that you do, and it's some things that I still still do because they make sense to
to your
me.
Mind,
they make
and
sense
you wonder
to me.
why civilians don't do it,
and understand why others don't do it, but just being not having to conform to that, we're not being
free of that.
Not having to do that. And if I'm doing it because I want to do that or follow it, not because I have to. Right. So so it was like, okay.
I get that. For me, it was it's a combination of things. It was the getting up early, because now I'm getting up early and I'm like, I could do a whole bunch of stuff, but then what am I going to do the rest of the day? You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. Another thing is I'm a transporter, man. I always back my vehicle in, right? And the reason you back your vehicle in the military is so if something goes wrong, you ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do no 3-point turnaround. So doing that and now realizing I'm holding up parking lot traffic trying to back in. So, so stuff like that. The civilian clothes that we used to wear to functions as senior leaders is all in your closet. And then when you wear them outside to other places, people look at you like, why are you wearing a golf shirt?
What are you doing?
Yeah. Why are you wearing jorts? So I had an incident. I'm gonna tell you this story, right? We was coming back, Nikki and I was coming back from a trip. And I had on one of them old button-down shirts, I forgot the proper name, but show up to one of the functions going on. Like sergeant majors, colonels, we always got to go to something. The general wants to do something, or you got to support something. But I had a black button-down shirt, right? And then I had on some casual jeans, right? And then I had on some black Nike shoes. Now, in my mind, it matching is all that stuff, right? But we ended up landing in Atlanta, and we go to the lounge. I go to the bathroom, come out of the stall, about to wash my hands, and I look up, and I'm like, I look like an old Sergeant First Class. I'm like, what is happening? So I'm like, I stand back and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, the shirt I have it's great for my shoulders, but too big for my waist. So I'm looking like I got a plastic bag on or something. I said, I got the jeans on. We'd been on a trip and I didn't bring my clippers, so my hair needed cut. And I'm just like, what is? So I went back to Nikki and I sat down. I said, your boy tripping. She was like, what? I said, how about I look like an old retired Sergeant First Class somewhere?
Trying to dress age appropriate. Just learning that piece of it. It was just like, okay, it's okay to.
And I was like, I know somebody in this lounge is going to come up to me and want to look at my record and see, how can I help you become a Master Sergeant in the United States? But I just felt like, I was like, what is happening? So I've had to get rid of a lot of clothes that I don't have to wear the Army functions no more, and start using my personality more to dress the way I dress. And you also got to be careful not to try to act like you a hip little kid.
That's dress age appropriate. I had some jeans. I'd be like, am I too old to be wearing these jeans?
Or you pulled them up like, why are they so tight on my legs? So there's a whole bunch of things. I could go down and name a bunch of things, but I could say the opposite to that is finding, like you said before, freedom, man. And just not real, like I never would, but if I get a DUI, it ain't messing up my career. No, it's messing up my life.
Right.
But I don't have to worry about my career. If I'm late coming back, or if I sleep in or whatever, DUI was extreme, right? Never had one, but just those type of things, man. It's just like the reality starts to hit you that you don't have to be that way anymore. And then, are you willing to change it, or are you just gonna stay that way? Because you think that keeps you connected in some way. Because I know there's people out there that still dress that way. Yeah, like they're going to a military function.
So you point them out.
Yeah, you can see it. And it's still surprising to me, because I do feel free, and it's been 5 years now. People still, you were in the military, weren't you? I'm like,
it's about the haircut.
Well, but you think you've gotten some of that off of you, but the reality of it is you haven't.
got a little facial hair. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. Yeah, and I can't grow no full beard, so
it's like,
yeah, I'm stuck.
So how do you build a new purpose without trying to recreate your old one?
This is where I stumbled, right? But this is also where I found salvation, right? And so, I always see myself as competent and capable, right? And those are military terms for sure, right? And so that means I'm always trying to study. I'm always trying to prepare and always trying to be that. And so that got old too, because I'm no longer in the military. I don't care if I show up 10 minutes early anymore, but it took me forever to get past that. Hey, people will wait on me now and tell me I'm late, and I'm like, I don't care, unless, of course, it's super important, but he knows I am not worried about staying locked in on time, and my wife definitely knows. And it's, I think it's partially, I do it unconsciously to prove a point to myself, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me.
Yeah, and if they do,
that matters.
Yeah, so what? Yeah, I was late, but that got old, trying to still carrying those. And so the thing that was my salvation was I found interest in something. And like I told you, I was trying to figure out how could I not go back into the workforce because of fears of becoming the same person I was, right? Meaning starting a job and then giving 100% in that job so that I can be the best at that job. And that is a great thing to do. That's gotten me to where I am now. But it also, my priorities now are Nikki, my family, and me, right? And so I didn't want to leave the house again, because if I left the house, I knew I'd get caught back up. And then I didn't want to sit and do like a job where I was sitting on a computer all day when I got all this fun around me, And so what I ended up doing was I finally came to the conclusion it would be best for me and my family if I found a way to help Nikki with our business.
Right.
And once again, this is her dream, but it's our business, right? And the reason I said it that way is because she leads it. I had to learn and adjust myself to just calm down and follow, right? I ended up finding interest in social media. I started finding interest on how to figure out the algorithms and stuff like that. And
yes, you did.
You
figure them out too.
Oh
I
my
appreciate
goodness!
you.
But it took me a while, and it's frustrating. But it gave me something to put energy into, right? And it also, personally, it raised my value I felt to the house.
You were able to redirect that
Absolutely.
energy that you had when you were working on active duty.
Yes.
Into
a space
things,
that was better for my
things
family. Absolutely.
That were giving you that same high.
Absolutely. And I will say this, men, I'm only speaking from a man and a black man, right? In this situation, we have to feel like we are adding value.
Right.
And if we don't feel like we're adding value, that's what leads us to spiral, and that's what leads us to doing stupid stuff. Right. And so luckily, because I was spiraling and I was doing stupid stuff, meaning I was losing control of my anger. I was doing, feeling combative to people, and we throw PTSD and all that stuff. But the bottom line was, because I wasn't able to lock in on something, I was falling apart. The structured person I had become was starting to fall apart. I was able to find something that took my energy and my focus.
I would say you were able to refocus.
Absolutely. And help the family and help the business. So what about you?
I was able to let go, because I could have gone back to work.
Yeah.
Could have gone back to work easy.
Immediately.
Because I was in a profession in the military that translates
everywhere
100% onto the into the civilian side.
Right.
It was just a matter of, same as you, where it was like, I knew if I went back to work, I was going to be
back in there.
Yeah, be doing it, and she had gone back to work like 6, 7, 8 months before I retired.
Right.
So then the kid, kids were just starting out there. When Mackenzie had been in her forever job, well, her adult job
Right.
for about 2,
Post-college, yeah.
Miles, just starting his, just graduating, just starting his. So it was like, okay, I don't need to, and I retired. I didn't do the 30 because I said, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because it started affecting
Your health.
my health.
Yeah.
It started coming. I was like, oh my God, what's going on,
Plus, you were losing interest. I know you said that before.
Yeah. I mean, it was
of
getting
that
to the
grind.
Yeah, it was getting to the point where what needs to be done. You say it every day. This is what I need. This is, and you keep getting told, no, we can't. But and it's like I got tired of that.
Yeah.
It's like I've been doing that for the last 25 years. Hearing that and listening to that.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something better than it.
Yeah.
And it's just I just did not. I needed a break. I needed a break.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, with this break, I'm gonna do whatever I can. Do to help the. So I was like, I just went straight into. I had my dog, so I was taking care. So that was. I wasn't at home by myself, so that was something that helped me out. And it was like, okay, I got to take care of these jokers. So doing the walking, the routine that turned into getting a routine with them, and then with the family, it was helping to support them like however I could. If it was just listening to problems that they had, if it was being able to give them good advice on things, it was supporting my wife, as she was doing her thing and moving up in her new job and area. So I found a new, found and was able to accept a new purpose that made me feel, I was like, I'm good. I was able to accept and say, I'm good. I don't need to I don't need to hear that extra. Because and I would. And I'm not trying to. I don't want to come across sounding like I'm bragging or anything, but because it's absolutely. But I was so blessed coming up from high school kid, college, of being successful in sports and the
you felt success.
School. Yeah, I felt that.
Right.
Where it was like, okay, I'm good. I don't feel like I need that that piece of it, the piece that I.
Well, you felt accomplished.
Yes. And the thing that will make me, that I feel now that makes me feel accomplished is seeing my family doing well and being able to help them.
Yes.
Where it's like I'm not looking to make any money.
I'm
not making any money. I'm not getting paid for this or charging any. This is because I want to do. And it makes me. That's what makes me feel better. Because I know that if I went back to work, I would be right up in that.
That's the thing.
That joker, going as hard as I could. Just because it's like it's almost a drug.
Absolutely.
Where it was like I got and if you enjoy taking, like, especially in the healthcare field, you have to
commit,
somewhat enjoy taking care of people and because that's what because you can't do that job well if you don't have some type of heart and
well, there's some hardened people in that field, but
you have some, but you can
you can definitely tell them apart.
You can pick them out. So but I just tried to find, I did find purpose in doing something else. And then whenever we started doing this show, this was awesome. This was awesome because it was like, we had all this stuff that we could talk about that we don't normally talk to other folks about. And are you here when you're talking to your friends about some stuff? He's like, why ain't you never say nothing about that then? What's going on? So.
No, I got it. Yeah. And that's what, you're right. I mean, the hardest part was building a new purpose that made me feel I added value to my family.
Yeah.
And that is tricky because if you're not bringing in income, then that's connected to a man and value. Mm-hmm. And then when you have retirement, you sort of forget that you are bringing up income based off of what you did instead of based on what you're doing now.
Yep.
So you gotta, for me, I had to, and my wife had to tell me, and I had to hear friends tell me that, man, you did all that. You're bringing this home a month. That's something, dude. Yeah, but you got to wrap your head around it. So yeah, I agree with you on everything you said about that. Because it doesn't stop you from spiraling, but at least it's something you can grab on to start to stop you.
Well, I mean, and a lot of that is just being self-aware of yourself. Self-awareness.
Yeah.
And accepting where you are.
Absolutely.
Accepting where you are and appreciating that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can tell you, I absolutely appreciate where I am, accept where I am.
You can see it.
What I'm doing, because it's like, okay, this is what I can do now. This is where I am. So,
in my opinion, most people that retire, military or wherever, there's going to be a lull. There's going to be a drop in your value. But there are people that they either don't admit it. One, they either admit it and deal with it. But the bottom line is, are you moving on?
Right.
Are you being successful at whatever pace you choose to be after you've given so much of yourself?
Right.
And because I know battle buddies that seem like they're loving their life. And I don't know if they're being straight up with me. I just know that with me, I love my life now, but 5 years, it took a good 3 years for me to stop feeling like I was falling short in the manhood department when it comes to taking care of my family.
Looking back to what you did, and feeling like that's what worth is, or that's where worth is measured and stuff. And it's okay. I mean, anybody that's retired and I feel like it's okay to go back and to think to pull back different episodes and things that happen, but use those for learning purposes, not for
it's
measuring.
Not you now.
Yeah, don't use them for measuring purposes, because you can you can look at your body now and think it's like, I don't look the same that I did when I was 25.
Yes.
Like, where did these little wrinkles or these come across my forehead? I mean, so I mean, it's we shouldn't use those as if I am not doing it now, if I can't do it now, then I'm not
less.
I'm no good to anybody.
And that's hard to tell somebody, and it's hard to. I'm a perfect example of that, right? Where I always felt I was the strongest in the room. I always felt like I was, once again, competent and capable. You know what I'm saying? I thought I could outrun people. There's so much stuff that I always thought. And that is stuff that was energy. That was stuff that fed me. And now I can't outrun nobody. I'm not trying
to. You don't have to outrun
that's
nobody.
My point.
Yeah.
That's what I was working toward.
That's not your purpose.
That's what I was working toward.
That is not your purpose now.
Changing your mindset to understand it's not your purpose is real. And it depends on the type of person you are. But it was a challenge for me to stop worrying. Like when I walk into a gym, worrying about what I used to do, or seeing somebody do something, and I'm like, you think that's something? And now I mess around being in the hospital trying to do something,
real quick.
Yeah, but it took me forever. I said 3 years to get out of that mindset, that competitive mindset that even to this day, you start drinking bottled water and I have a bottle of water, I'm going to finish that bottle of water before you. If I don't, I'm going to throw that bottle of water. If I'm playing spades with you and I lose, witness right there, I get irritated. And it's but it's something that I've had for so long that I just.
That's just being competitive.
It is, but it also can make you believe you're what you used to be instead of what you are.
I tell you,
Losing spades, I can calm down from, right? But if we're wrestling or if we're lifting or if we're racing or something like that and I lose, that will affect me. I'm talking to the point where I will quit talking. I'll go sit down somewhere and I have to get myself out of that.
see, my son helped me to come to that realization real quick with the physical stuff.
Working
Some of
out.
the working out, going to the gym, working out stuff. Where you pulling up weights and things like that. Because I went with them. I went with them a couple of times, few times after I retired. You know, I've been retired for about 7,
But
8,
you're
9
still
months.
in the.
And I'm thinking, this
Yeah.
joker, he can't.
You got old man strength.
Oh, it is for some. It is around the house and stuff. You just pick up a chest and move it, and you try to ask them to move it. They're like, "This is too heavy," but they'll put some stuff on a barbell, and they start throwing that stuff up. I was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." He did something, was putting it up on the bar, and he's like, "You want this?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't want that at all."
Tommy would have been there.
I got this. I was good with it. And I'm still. I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's like, give me them 25s. I'm straight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, differences. You know what I mean? All right, check this out. If you could sit down with every soldier 1 year before retirement, what would you tell them that SFL TAP, Soldier for Life, couldn't?
That's a good program. I mean, it really is a really good program. It's some of the stuff that didn't for me didn't. I didn't need. I mean, I know how to do resumes
like that,
and job interview. I mean, it's good information. I think all of it's good information, depending on where you are in your career. I think for especially young soldiers that are getting out, absolutely go and because it is so many. Because it was different programs and things and services that I had no idea were available
or a thing.
That were there
because we've been in that Army rut for so long.
Yes, that will absolutely help you to get a new, get a job, not prolong, but start your schooling
after our post military life.
Yeah, but it's just like it's. I'm the only thing I can think of that, and it's going to be different because I think retirement's going to be different for everyone.
Absolutely,
because it's not the same. Because it wasn't the same for me that it was for you, that it was for your wife or my wife. So I think you just have to. I would just say, we've been talking about this, but. Look, it's okay to be retired. It's okay not to be doing anything if you can just keep yourself busy. Have some type of routine. Try to find you some type of routine when you first get out, because that's the thing that we missed the most is that you had somebody that was telling you that you had something at 8,
or you were making 10. A schedule.
Had something at 1. You did this at 2. So find yourself somewhat of a routine just to help you ease out of that where you have to do stuff in the military to, okay, this is what I plan on doing. Right. It'd be nice to do it, but if I don't get it done today,
it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine. But that SFL TAPS it's a good absolute, and you have to do it. Yeah. And take. I would tell them take notes in those classes. Absolutely. Don't just blow off.
Listen,
yeah. Don't just go there and just blow off the stuff. Take some notes, because it's some things that you probably be surprised that you'll go back and say, oh man, I think that they had some for this about.
Well, I'll just tell you, SFL TAP is an outstanding program because it makes you think about your job is over here. But here's where you can start to think about what's next for you.
Right.
And I think that is outstanding, and I'm glad it's mandatory. But you're right, there are differences. If you're a sergeant major, colonel, general, It's not as, structured and required as it is for a specialist E5 staff sergeant. If you're not retiring, it's different because you're still super young. You maybe did 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, whatever in the military, and you are gnawing at the bit to get to that next job, But if you're retired 30 years and you're a senior leader, sergeant major and above, colonel and above, odds are when you get out of the military, you're either going straight to executive level or you're going to be some kind of advisor, right? And that means your schedule's changing and your stuff is going to change. If I had something that I could add to SFL TAP that might have already happened, but I would have mental health, either
Like,
doctor, counselor, to come in and just talk about, the change. Just talk about leaving an environment that's going 100 miles per hour to finding an environment that may only go 90 or less, right? So I'd have that initially. And then for like a couple more times, I'd bring in retirees at different levels. I wouldn't bring in people that are associated with the SFL TAP program. In other words, people that have probably gotten out and now working here. I would bring people that
not working anymore.
not working there. Well, not working there, and
Right.
just listen to their story,
Stories,
right?
yeah.
And then have somebody like you, right? Or have somebody like me, or have somebody like who went on to be the freaking CEO of something, But I think that would be value added because I don't think it should be hours long, but it should be something to where people understand, people can grab onto it and say, okay, mental health. Even if they ain't listening, they're like, well, they did mention mental health, so
Right.
why?
But
why
and that also would help folks feel like, man, that's okay. Somebody said that I might feel this way, so I
It's
can get
okay
through
to
this.
feel that
It's okay
way,
to feel this way, and I know I can get through it.
Absolutely. So that would be my only fix, man. Is just when you're going through retirement, start seeing a mental health person, not because it's a check on the block, right? But go see a mental health person and then tell them how you honestly feel.
Right.
Right. And then after you get out, still sit down with somebody and tell them how you feel now,
Right.
so you can compare the two. Because if your mental health is strong, or if your plan is strong, or your dream is strong, you'll have less problems.
Right. I hope you got a good support.
Absolutely.
You got a good support group.
Yeah, all that stuff. You have all the stuff that's required for good mental health, you'll be okay.
Yep.
But if you're unsure of what you want to do, or if you're concerned about leaving and concerned about the new life or whatever, just everybody, mental health.
It just have a plan.
Absolutely.
Use TAPS to help you
Develop that.
develop your plan
Yep.
for afterwards if you don't have one if you're not thinking about
Absolutely.
one at the time.
If
But just
nothing
make your
else,
plan.
SFL TAP will remind you that you're retired or
Right.
you're getting out of the military
Yes, you
at a
are.
minimum. But use it more to find out maybe what field you want to go to, or find out the steps you can take to get into a different field, or just start a new life or whatever. But
Yeah, I understand that.
take advantage of it.
One of the biggest surprises about leaving the military isn't finding another job. It's looking in the mirror and asking yourself, who am I now? For years, the uniform answered that question for us. It gave us purpose, responsibility, and a place to belong. Then one day, it's gone. If that's where you are today, understand this. You're not losing your identity. You're discovering that it was never supposed to end with the uniform. What you learned, who you became, and the lives you impacted, those things didn't retire. The next chapter isn't about replacing the man you were. It's about giving that man a new place to serve.
Hey, transition from the Army was scary for me, and I was sinking for a bit. But once I wrapped my head around it, I realized I was free.
It's free.
It is.
If this conversation helped you in any way, please like and share this conversation with people you know who are struggling or could be struggling with retirement. And as always, brother, let's keep the conversation going.
Hey, 4 titles.
One truth.